We are not rare, but before you leave, you will perceive the lore will be unlocked. You might be stalked by a Sasquatch or a ghost witch, possibly even a ghost that will boast about knowing the Ohio grassman or even the Michigan dogman. Werewolves hunt, poltergeists are up front, but in these backwoods, folklore is unlocked.
Welcome back to Folklore Unlocked. I'm Austin, and like always, I'm joined by Ethan.
Yep, hello again, everyone.
And this week, we are taking a look at one of the more famous Bigfoot family creatures in the Yeti. And it's also known as the Abominable snowman. And like most Bigfoots, it's ape-like, like I said, similar to the American Bigfoot. And it lives in the Himalayan mountains. It's large, bipedal, and it's typically depicted with brown, gray, or white fur, and sometimes depicted with large, sharp canine teeth, and it's typically depicted as 8 to 10.5 feet tall.
I just had to use the depiction from the Scooby-Doo for the picture.
I mean, of course.
And some background for the Yeti. So it could be closely related to gigantic Pithecus, kind of like we said, Bigfoot. And the name comes from the Yeta, meaning rock thing. And I have a couple pictures here. I have one that is a Yeti scalp that is from a monastery that they supposedly had a Yeti scalp, apparently. And then I have a footprint here of a supposed Yeti footprint. Now, I will say the scalp, or at least one scalp, got tested, and it ended up being a bear scalp. I don't know for sure which one this is, but...
Well, like Ethan mentioned, that scalp was found in a like religious places, especially in Buddhism. And in Buddhist mythology, teaches that Yetis were peaceful creatures who were very shy and lived in dense snow caves on the glaciers that form on the Ganges River in India. And in pre-Buddhist cultures, such as the Lecha people, worshipped a quote-unquote glacier giant. And the Tibetan and Nepalese monasteries have collected, like we said, several skulls and bones reportedly from Yetis, with some residing in the Smithsonian today, which is found in Washington, D.C., and one specimen, which is different from the bear one, proved to be a bear scalp, was proven to be human, with others still in question.
I like the name Glacier Giant. That sounds like a good way
Yes.
to... Yeah.
That would be like a good like boss in a video game name,
Uh-huh. I didn't
or a
know...
good wrestling name.
Yeah. I didn't know that some of the, like, specimens were in the Smithsonian. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, here on Folklore Unlocked, just kind of learn a little something new every episode.
And the Yeti has some ties to some other notable events. One is tied to Sir Edmund Hillary, who is one of the first climbers to climb Mount Everest, and has also reached both the North and South Pole. So it goes on a lot of expeditions.
He's a dude's dude.
Uh, and he went on an expedition in search of the fabled abominable snowman. I'm guessing that wasn't the only reason. He probably just wanted to climb whatever mountain it was, but he also looked for the Yeti. And then,
Again, he's a dude's dude.
mm, then also, I don't know if we've mentioned the Dyatlov Pass incident at all. We might have, but it was where 9 Soviet skiers or hikers ended up dying on the Ural Mountains February 1st or 2nd of 1959. And there are some questions about it because something caused them to cut their way out of their tents and flee the campsite while they were inadequately dressed for heavy snowfall and sub-zero temperatures. So some think that, oh, they could have been running from a Yeti.
Well, we'll definitely take a look at the Dyatlov Pass incident because for some reason we just haven't gone to it yet. And me personally, I've just kind of been wanting to hold off on it because it's honestly been covered to death on YouTube. So, but we'll definitely take a look at it sometime in the future just because it's one of the most interesting unsolved mysteries so far. And then there's some possible theories of what the Yetis actually are. One is a linger monkey. I think I'm saying that right. Living at a lower than normal altitude. It might have an attitude, I don't know. It could be a Tibetan blue bear or a Himalayan brown bear. So we've got two bear theories. Or it just could be a large human hermit with a shaving problem.
Well, I mean, if you're up in the mountains and stuff like that, having a lot of fur or hair would be beneficial. So maybe they just don't want to shave because it's warmer.
Well, yeah, that makes sense too.
But yeah, then we have pictures of the monkey and both the bears here.
And then you got you viewers, listeners can picture a very hairy human.
Yeah.
That's kind of easy to picture.
And then in pop culture, so in the SYFY original movie Yeti, Curse of the Snow Demon, there's Chill Out Scooby-Doo, which we had the picture from in the very beginning. We had Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Then also Lost Tapes always shows up on here, Season 3. And then Monsters, Inc., of course, had Yeti, Far Cry 4, and Abominable and Crab Minimal. I've never been able to say that name. From Pokemon.
Yeah, one really good depiction of the Yeti, and one that's kind of based on the snow crab, which kind of gets its name from the Yeti.
Abominable is a pretty good one. I like it.
Yes, even with the 4 times weakness to fire.
That's the only problem.
And so on to our thoughts. Considering that the Himalayan mountains are closer to the Gigantopithecus's natural habitat, in my opinion, it's more likely that it could be an evolved version or a sort of lost population of Gigantopithecus's and other types of Sasquatches. But again, I so badly want at least one version of Bigfoot to exist, just because Bigfoot and all these cousins are like my favorite cryptid stories, but I just don't know if they're stories or misidentifications or if they actually exist.
I mean, really, the Yeti being like on all these mountains and stuff like that, the mountains would be a good place for it to hide because, I mean, especially if it had white fur or whatever, not very many people go on them. So, I mean, that would be a better place for them to hide, I'd feel like.
Yeah. The hiding in mounds is kind of like hiding in plain sight. It's just the fact that not a lot of people go up on the mounds willingly, and not a bunch of people live in mounds. So, good hiding place.
Mm. But yes, while the Yeti is probably one of my favorite depictions of Sasquatch or Bigfoot, I think there is a high likelihood it's just a bear that, I guess, goes on its hind legs whenever someone's around just to try to scare them off. Mostly because of the DNA evidence from the supposed Yeti scalps being that of a bear they have found. So that's my thought process. Probably just a bear, as sad as it is.
Yeah, sadly, as much as I love Bigfoot and like it, cousins stories, I just I think people are seeing something. I just don't know if it's actually Bigfoot, sadly, or in this case, the Yeti.
Or a very hairy hermit.
Exactly. But I think that's all we've got for this week. And for those who don't know, I'm starting a new podcast which covers football with a friend of mine, Remington, called the Doc and Tank Podcast. So hopefully join me over there while also enjoying your little bit of folklore here at Folklore Unlocked. So if you're on YouTube, thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. If you're on Spotify, leave us a comment. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, bye everyone.
You might wake up beside Spearfinger with an extended visit from Jack the Ripper. But if you're lucky, it'll be an angel on that range hill of Louisiana. You might meet Mary Laveau or the Rougarou. At Folklore Unlocked, Austin and Ethan concoct their theory of the eerie and unexplained around the world, sometimes even the underworld. The lore is locked behind secrets, but folklore is meant to be unlocked. The Sokoloo is haunting NC as well as Tennessee. There are many giants that might be clients of the Dark Watchers, who might have psychokinesis. And the phantom time hypothesis is like a phoenix, coming back around again and again. Though there's a strain on your brain if you've got more than 2 brain cells in you. Some believe McCartney is dead because they read into the Mandela effect, which is subject